Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 82nd ever Highlight Haven interview. My name is Matthew Heiserman, and today we are joined by four-star high school football recruit Kaden McCarty. Kaden, it's great to have you on.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, and right off the bat, I just want to start by asking when you first knew that you wanted to play football.
Really, it started in pre-K. I remember there's a video that was like really old from me back in pre-K when I was graduating from pre-K, going into kindergarten.
Mhm.
They were asking like what I want to be when I grow up, and my answer was football player. And that's just like from there, that's where it started. And then I started playing football
Mhm.
my first grade year, so
Mhm.
been playing for a long time.
Yeah, I love to hear that. And when you started playing football, did you start with flag? Did you jump right into tackle? What did that look like for you?
Okay, so I started playing flag football my first grade year, and then as soon as after my first grade year, started playing tackle football, and that's where it really like started popping off for me, like where like I want to play this sport.
And when you started playing, were you always a defensive end, or were you more of a utility guy playing all across the field?
I started playing outside backer, but we were in a forefront, so it was basically like I was on the line playing defensive end, basically. But yeah, I've always been a defensive player, always been on the line,
Mhm,
coming off the ball for the quarterback.
mhm. And along with football, you also run track. Did you start running track around the same time you started football, or is that something you picked up separately?
That's something I picked up late, back in middle school. I jumped, I threw, I did high jump, triple jump, long jump, and then high school stuck to shot put and discus, and
Mhm.
I'm pretty good at shot put and discus too. So yeah.
And then, as a dual sport athlete, in what ways has track and field helped you with football? And then on the other hand, how has football helped you with track and field?
Yeah, I think it really helped me in both ways because
Mhm,
it keeps my mind going. Like you can
mhm,
learn different techniques from different sports. Like shot put, you got to throw your shoulder, throw your elbow, and really like in football, the spin move, you throw your elbow to get around. So it's like you
mhm.
can pick in like different parts of like the game, like from each sport, and piece it together to like make sense with the different sport, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And as one of the top rated defensive ends in the class of 2027, what's one thing that you really take pride in when it comes to your play style?
I think my get off, my effort, my like my IQ, especially on the field. Like you watch my film, like I can dissect the play like that. Like I know where the play is going. I know where it's going here, where it's going there, and like it just all like clicks to me like really fast. So it's like I feel like me as a player, like I can actually understand the game, and I feel
Mhm,
like that just puts me ahead of like
mhm,
a lot of people.
mhm. And when you're playing as a edge, are you someone who likes to, rely on your shiftiness a little more, maybe throw a spin move in there, or do you have more of the bull rush approach? You're just trying to run right through the offensive lineman.
Me, since I'm like a longer guy, skinnier guy, I feel like I definitely use my bendiness, my hands, my quickness, my speed, my twitchiness to my advantage. Because the old lineman, they really can't stop me. Like that's just something like I take pride in. Like I want to beat the guy in front of me every rep, and that's just something I always like to execute as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And on March 18th, 2024, you received your first Division One offer from Texas Tech University. Can
Mm.
you just describe, what was going through your mind during that moment and what it felt like to receive that first offer?
It was definitely like a big, crazy thing that happened. Like, I wasn't expecting it at all. My coach actually was talking to me that day,
Mhm.
and he was like, "Yeah, Texas Tech wants to talk to you, so make sure you give them a call when you get home." I'm thinking it's like something with like a camp invite.
Yeah, yeah.
I wasn't really like on the map like that. I
Mhm,
played varsity my freshman year, and I started, but I wasn't expecting people to like actually see me. Maybe like
mhm,
not summer. Um, and so whenever I called him, I was with my dad, and he called me. He said he really liked my family, liked everything he's been seeing, and he offered me. That was like a big thing. Like I
mhm,
was like, yeah, it's finally one. Like because I knew it was gonna take off after that. And Texas Tech has still been a big part of my recruitment, like
mhm.
to this day. So it's like that's something like it really just kicked off everything for me.
Now I know Texas Tech is obviously D1. Did you receive any non-D1 offers before that, or was that your first offer in general?
That was my first offer in
Mhm,
general.
mhm. And as a sophomore, you've already received around 20 Division One offers from schools such as Texas, Miami, SMU, and Ole Miss. Can you just break down what the recruitment process has looked like for you so far?
It's been picking up really like heavily. Like
Yeah.
going into my
Mhm,
sophomore year, I only had two offers. So not like that, like to me have 21 right now is crazy. Like I
mhm,
was not expecting me to like blow up this much. I knew I was gonna get more attention because I had a good season, but I wasn't expecting to come this far but I'm glad it has. I know how much work I put into the game, and like I'm glad people are
mhm,
finally notice like my talent. So like the first period of the contact period where the coach were coming up to the school, I think I picked up around five more offers
mhm,
then. So I think I was about five or six offers in February. And then back when the period reopened, I think it was April,
mhm.
up until now, I've picked up I think um 15 more offers since then. So it's
Wow.
really
Mhm,
picking up like fast, like back to back to back to back to back. So it's like
mhm.
I'm really excited for what this next season holds for me, and it's like I'm just excited to get back to it.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I love to hear that. And of course, you attend Cypress Falls High School in Houston, Texas. How much do you value distance from home when deciding on a school, especially considering that a lot of the schools you've received offers from are in Texas?
Mm. But it's definitely something I think about.
Mhm.
Obviously, like I want my parents to be able to make most of my games,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But I feel like when it comes down to it, I want to pick a school that's best for me and my
Mhm.
family, and like whether it's gonna be me playing my freshman year, that's ultimately like I want to do. Like I know I can do that,
Mhm.
and I want to go to a team that can have that same vision as me, like
Mhm.
playing my freshman or sophomore year. um just because I want to get out there and play, like
Yeah.
that's what I'm there for. So definitely like people that can, like a team and coach staff that can support like my goals. um and like obviously I have to put in the work, but you know what I'm saying, for them to get me there, because it's going to be a, you know what I'm saying, type of relations thing that's going to have to be coming from both of us to make that happen. So like a
Mhm.
team that can support that aspect, um whether it's in state or out of state.
Mhm.
I feel like that's just like the ultimate like goal.
Yeah, for sure. And out of all the schools you've been speaking with, are there any that you've been talking to the most or that have really stuck out to you so far?
Nebraska,
Mhm.
Baylor, Texas Tech, Ole Miss, Arizona State, Texas, even though they just got into the mix,
Yeah.
they've been
Mhm.
for a minute now. Um,
Mhm.
Off the top, that's what I can name.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's gonna pick up more like as I start getting these bigger offers, and
Mhm.
these teams are gonna eventually have to step it up. Um, but yeah, so far those been like really like contacting me beyond me, um, and staying active.
Now, have you gotten your dream offer yet, or is that something you're still waiting on?
Actually, I've been a big Texas fan since I've started watching football.
Mhm.
So the fact that that just came, like, that's actually like it's all like it didn't feel real almost.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. Congrats on that Texas offer.
thank you.
And, out of all the schools you've received offers from, are there any that you would like to try and visit that you haven't had the chance to visit already?
Definitely. I want to get down to Arizona State because I've
Mhm.
heard they have a beautiful campus.
Yeah.
I want to get to a Texas game. I haven't been to a Texas game
Mhm.
yet.
Yeah.
Um, Let me see. I want to go to an Ole Miss game.
Mhm.
That's definitely something I want to do. Miami. Um, Let me see. Texas Tech. I haven't been to a Texas Tech game yet.
Mhm. Yeah.
Nebraska. I haven't been to a Nebraska game yet. So it's definitely like some places I definitely want to have to see.
Mhm, and Texas is obviously home to some of the most competitive high school football
Mm.
in the country. How does that tougher competition help you improve your game, and maybe what are you able to learn from some of the players you go up against?
It definitely makes me like have to like, cause I like competition. Like I'm a big
Mhm,
like competitive guy, so it's like I feel like that aspect of them having the biggest like they play in a big conference, go against tough people. I feel like that's something that's like an environment that I would like to be around, like especially like anyway. Like I like to
Mhm,
dominate. Like it's just something that I like to do. Like I don't want nothing easy to come my way. I want to be like I want it to be a challenge. If it's easy, it's no fun
mhm.
for me. So it's like that's just something I want to do.
And now that you're in the off season and the spring practices and spring game have wrapped up, can you
Mhm.
just break down what a typical day looks like for you in terms of practicing and training?
Okay, so usually, so we're gonna start up summer workouts this
Mhm.
next week,
Yep.
June 9th. So that's gonna get into it. So I think probably starts around like 7, ends around like 11. So or no 10:30. And then we have SSI, which is like our football like incorporation stuff, like,
Mhm.
and then we get into our workouts. And then usually after that, I'll have like a training session. I probably train probably about 2 to 3 times a week with my trainer, just to keep my skill set up. And then with this camp season coming up, I'll end up having camps like on the weekends or
Yep.
sometimes even like weekdays. Um, just basically being active all week, basically.
Mhm. And with just 2 years until college, what are some of the main things you're still trying to improve before you reach that next level?
Um, I say my size definitely. That's something always like
Mhm.
anybody can work on. Like, shoot, like my skill set can always get better. My power can always get better. A big thing that I saw Abdul Carter saying is controlling his rush. That's something he does. Like he controls the rush. He doesn't wait for the offensive
Mhm.
lineman. And I feel like that's a mentality I'm trying to install into my
Yeah.
brain to like to actually go get after it. Like it's he's gonna have to react off me. That's basically like what I'm
Mhm.
trying to get into my head.
And you just mentioned Abdul Carter. Are there any defensive ends? Maybe Abdul Carter is one of them, but are there any defensive ends in the NFL that you really try and take inspiration from or model your game after?
Yeah, definitely. Micah
Mhm.
Parsons, shoot, Max Crosby,
Yep.
Aiden Hutchinson. I like his game a lot. Khalil Mack, guys like that that are like actually like top rushers
Mhm.
in the country. Like it's really like it stands out. Like that's how I
Yep.
want to be.
Mhm. And when you're watching an NFL game, are you focused on the entire game as a whole? Or are you typically just watching the defensive ends and what they're doing?
If it's my team, I'm a big from Houston, so
Mhm.
I watch the Texans a lot. I
Yep.
watch like what I'm saying, like the field in general. But
Yep.
if it's other teams, I'm really mainly watching the defensive line and like the
Mhm.
defensive ends, linebackers, of how if they're getting after it and like how they're getting off the ball, their moves
Mhm.
they're making and stuff like that.
And then in terms of the mental side of football, are there any superstitions or pregame rituals that you have? And then maybe a specific kind of music you like to listen to get yourself in the right mindset ahead of games?
Really, I just be vibing with my teammates, have my headphones
Mhm.
in, and
Yep.
just relax and just prepare myself because I'm always ready to
Mhm.
go. But you always, I'm saying, you gotta
Yep.
calm down and what I'm saying, hype yourself up when it's time to go. That's something like I always tend to do. Usually stay calm in the beginning so I don't really get like too exhausted before the game even starts. Right before that walkout, that's when it really like starts to turn up.
Mhm. And then what's one thing you don't think the average football fan necessarily knows about the defensive end position?
Um, Let me see. I think most time people think it's just like you getting off the ball and getting to the quarterback.
Mhm,
You got to stop the run first. I feel like a
mhm,
lot of people when you hear defensive end, you think like edge rushers just getting straight to the quarterback every play. That's not how it is. You got to earn
mhm,
the right to rush the passer. So it's like what I'm saying. It's a lot of work that actually goes
mhm.
into it. Like you stopping a run, holding up a 350-pound lineman,
Yeah.
getting a tackle for loss, and then being able to rush the passer. And especially since the rush passer usually comes later in the game, you're gonna be exhausted. Like you're gonna be tired. So like I feel like when you get to that point, it's just that's when it's like the real work happens. You gotta push yourself past that level. I feel like sometimes people don't really realize that that's all that goes into like being a great defensive end slash edge rusher. It's like you gotta learn how to stop the run.
Mhm. And, during your final 2 years playing high school football, are there any personal goals as well as team goals that you would like to achieve?
Um I want to make it to like the playoffs, like deep in the playoffs, because like I
Yeah.
think that'll help our team. Really, we have some guys on our team that are under recruited that can be recruited, and
Mhm,
I feel like going to the playoffs would actually make us like get some of our guys that should be getting recruited right now more attention. And
mhm.
then I'd probably say like I want us to actually have that mentality that we trying to go far this season. Like
Yeah.
I don't, I wouldn't say our last group was like, you know what I'm saying, bad, but it was like sometimes the mentality aspect like would get lost, like the mental aspect would get lost of like what we're actually doing this for. Like,
Like,
you know,
nobody really expected you to go that far?
exactly. Yeah,
Mhm,
yeah. So when we did, it was kind of like when we got to our second round of playoffs, it was kind of like we lost focus a little bit.
mhm,
And I feel like one thing I'm just gonna try and emphasize this season is like what we're trying to go for this season, like how far we're trying to go for it. Because
mhm.
eventually, like inevitably, it's all up to us. Like we can control that. Nobody else can control that but us. It's not gonna just happen. So like, that's what I'm gonna try to install into our team's head this season.
Yeah, 100%. Now, I do have one final question to ask before we wrap things up. If there was one, random fun fact that you wanna share just so the people watching can get to know you a little better at a personal level, what would it be?
Shoot, I say I be on NCAA a lot. That's
Mhm,
one thing. Like that's my favorite game to play is NCAA. And
mhm.
one other fact, I say my favorite food is soul food. Like you catch me any round soul food is
Yeah.
gone, gonna disappear like that.
Is there any team on, NCAA that you like to play with the most?
Um, shoot, Texas,
Mhm,
Alabama, LSU, Oregon,
mhm.
Georgia, the big powerhouse
Yeah.
school.
Yeah, absolutely. With that being said, I can't thank you enough for coming on. I really do appreciate it. Is there anything else you want to say to the people watching before we wrap things up?
Keep an eye on me. I'm gonna be something big one day.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, big thanks to Kaden McCarty for being the 82nd ever Highlight Haven interview guest. And as always, we will see you next time.